So tip number one is open freezing. If you've ever tried to freeze something like fruit or vegetables or meat, and you've just slung it into a bag or you've put it in a piece of Tupperware in the freezer, you'll know that it just clumps together. And then when you want a little bit of it, you've got to defrost all of it and it ends up just going to waste. So tip number one is to get a tray that you know fits in your freezer. Now, I've got a baking tray here, which is quite big. I do happen to know that this will fit in if my freezer drawer is empty, or if I can slot it in across the top of some stuff. But I've also got a smaller one here, which is deep, which is great because then I could freeze multiple things because I can stack them. For those of you with a smaller freezer, I also sometimes just use a Tupperware lid. And what I do is I'll get some baking parchment or some tissue paper, and I just rip off a sheet that is about the length of the item, get whatever it is that I'm freezing, and pop it onto the tray. And if you've got multiple, if you've got more than can fit on that one tray, it wouldn't work great with raspberries because obviously they're quite bumpy. But if you've got something like slices of carrot or cheese, maybe grated cheese that will flatten down a bit, you can just fold it over, put in another layer, fold it again, put another layer. So I find this fantastic for freezing all sorts of things. In this instance, you can see I've got some raspberries. I just pop them in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours, and then once they're frozen, grab a bag, a Ziploc freezer safe bag, or not Ziploc but resealable, and then basically just pop whatever it is that you've frozen into your bag, and whenever you want some, it means that you can just grab a little bit. And I think in these times when we're trying to ration ourselves a bit at the moment and not use everything at once and not waste any food, this is brilliant. And what I'm going to do is there'll be a few different videos that you can see on my blog, which I will link to, that will show you all the different types of food you can freeze in this way, how you can then use them and how you can cook them. So there we go, that's tip number one.